Tom and Kyle's Comedy Action Hour is a Boink Studios production. Follow us on Twitter at Boink Studios and check out our Facebook page where you can see all of our projects, past, present, and future. And now, on with the show. All right. Hey, what is up? That's right, folks. We are back once again. Episode 2 of the show. This is it, folks. Once again, back. So glad you are joining us. Thanks for tuning in. I am Tom Clark. He is Kyle Smith. And this is Tom and Kyle's Comedy Action Hour. Kyle, what is up, son? How are you doing today?
I'm doing good.
Doing great.
It feels like it was just a few minutes ago.
It does feel like a few minutes ago since episode 1, doesn't it?
It does.
My, how the time flies when you're sitting around doing nothing but talking. But
That's right.
I like to think we're doing good work here.
But I'm in a comfy chair. I'm doing pretty good.
I'm in a comfy chair. I've got The Crow playing on Netflix on my TV, so I'm pretty happy right now. Yeah, I got the classic.
A classic? Another classic?
Although, they totally ripped off Sting, which is really insulting. I mean, James O'Barr, he took creative license with the Sting character and, totally ripped him off. But I'd forgotten how dark and edgy. I know, right? I'd forgotten how dark and edgy this movie is, but you go back and rewatch it again, and Brandon Lee just did such an amazing job.
An awesome movie and an awesome soundtrack.
Oh my God! Right?
I mean,
STP.
Yeah.
Which, by the way,
I've yet to, I've yet to have, or have seen like a movie that had such a good. The days of a movie having a really good soundtrack corresponding it is I miss, because like Clerks. It had a great soundtrack. Pulp Fiction had a really good soundtrack.
Right.
It's like I don't think I've seen a movie lately that where really got to have the soundtrack for that movie.
Yeah, it's a tough one, man. We always talked about Maximum Overdrive because AC/DC did the entire soundtrack, which was always pretty cool.
Yeah.
But it was all AC/DC, of course. But no, I know exactly where you're coming from. I miss those days myself. Just not the same as it was before, for sure. But the soundtrack was really good because it was STP was on the soundtrack. It was one of their massive hits. The most was it?
Machines of Loving Grace. And
yeah.
A lot of good bands. A lot of good bands were on that.
Speaking of STP, Scott Weiland recently passed away. God rest his soul.
Yeah, that was. I mean,
I know what you're gonna say. I know what you're gonna say. Yeah, he lasted longer than we thought he would. Right? Honestly.
Yeah.
And it's.
I mean, there's moments where it's like you're like, oh man, he's gonna be the next one to go.
Right. And it's funny too because like when I forget who I told about the news, like, wow, really? How did it happen? Do you know how it happened? Have you read how it happened? I'm like, haven't read, don't care to read, don't care, because whatever the answer is.
Yeah.
Whatever the answer is, it may not be very good, and I suspect it's probably got. If it wasn't that, it was something to do with it. Probably. You can only put your body through so much damage over, X number of years of abusing. But it's a shame he could not get it figured out because, dude, in my top 10 best rock voices of all time, he's in the top 10 for sure. Maybe the best rock singer of his generation. I know that's a big statement when you got Eddie Vedder out there and Axl Rose is out there and other guys that were like really, oh my God, powerful voice and very recognizable. But Scott Weiland could harmonize. He had a soft voice. And
they had a really good string of albums too.
They really did.
All the songs on those albums were great. So,
what was your favorite STP album, by the way?
What's the name of the one that has the Tiny Music something, wasn't it?
Tiny Music Songs from the Vatican.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, you like that
That's
one?
my favorite. my favorite album.
I like Purple because, of course, you've got Interstate Love Song.
Yeah, Purple's good.
Yeah, that's a good album. I love their first one because
Core.
Oh my God, yeah. What's the one song there that just explodes in your ear? He comes on with the megaphone and he's talking and
oh yeah.
Yeah, it's such a great song.
I can't remember the name of it.
Isn't that terrible? What kind of fans are we again? Terrible fans.
I know.
Terrible fans. See, and here we are lamenting the fact he's passed on. We can't remember one of the names of one of his biggest songs, but if I had to pick a favorite album, it's got to be number 4. I love number 4. It's just,
yeah, 4's good.
I can't get much better than number 4 because I love Down. I love that song. It's one of my favorite rock songs of all time, and so many good songs on that album too. It just, yeah, I don't know, dude. Like I said, it's a shame. When I heard about it, I was upset when I heard about it, and it wasn't. I can't say it was shocking because, again, if you were a fan of Scott Weiland and his music, the guy was, he was messed up for a long time. I mean, it's the thing that got him fired from Velvet Revolver because, he Slash and those guys from Guns N' Roses had been clean. They'd cleaned up. They'd stopped using and doing all that stuff, and Scott had never stopped.
Yeah. Well,
not for any extended period of time, off and on.
It's always a struggle. So.
Yeah, this is why I'm glad my only addiction is to greatness and awesomeness because, it's helped me out quite a bit through the years. That the only thing I'm addicted to is just my sheer awesomeness. So that works out for me, actually.
And you are pretty
that
awesome.
And peanut butter.
Yeah, peanut butter. Yeah.
Yes, thank you. I mean, I thought that part goes without saying because, all you have to do is say that there might be peanut butter there, and I'm probably going to be there. You know what I'm saying?
It's like, what? Peanut butter? Did you say peanut butter?
Yeah, if you want to get me there, that's how you're going to do it. Is just the threat. Just the possible appearance of peanut butter. You introduce peanut butter into the fold, and there's a good chance you're going to be able to get me there. You know what I mean? Because that peanut butter is pretty much the center of the world to me. So there you go. So yeah, like we said, folks, episode number 2, kicking off with a bunch of hilarity. It turns out as we're talking about death right off the bat. So that's
right.
Good.
Yeah, that's kind of depressing, but it has to be said. I mean, we mentioned last episode. We mentioned Robert Loggia, that he passed away.
That's true.
So we might as well mention
R, as in Robert Loggia. O, as in oh my God, it's Robert Loggia. That's one of the great spots from Family Guy. I love that. I love that spot. That's some good stuff, man. That's some fun stuff.
But to mention some of the songs previously from Stone Temple Pilots, Dead and Bloated, Sex Type Thing, Wicked Garden, No Mercy, Sin, Naked Sunday, Creep, Piece of Pie, Plush, Wet My Bed, Cracker Man, and Where's the River Gone?
Oh my God. Number 4, I'm sorry, is still my favorite album. I just thought it was so well done. Yeah. Yeah, so good. And I'm sitting here in my head going over the songs in my head. Like, you know what? It's a terrible thing to get old. I don't enjoy getting old.
I'm trying to do it as slowly as possible, but the years of abuse that I've put on my body, it's creeping up on me.
Number 4. Here we go, folks. This is where the Google machine comes in handy. Released in 1999. That was a great year up to a certain point, and then it all went to shit. But Down, a great song. Church on Tuesday. If you don't know Church on Tuesday, shame on you because it's a great damn song. Dude, Sour Girl might be the best ballad by any rock band that I've ever... I think Sour Girl is on a scale with Sweet Child of Mine. And I'm not even going to smile when I say that. I believe that. If you don't know Sour Girl, Jesus, why do you even listen to this show? Are you blind and deaf and dumb? What's going on? And by the way, if you're any blind, deaf, and dead people out there, you can't hear me or see me to be upset. So, sorry.
What did he say?
But
he's talking
what was
about
that?
you.
Don't tell him he's talking about him. But you have to go check out Sour Girl because, oh my God, such a good song. Go to iTunes like right now. Buy number 4 if you don't buy anything else today. There you go.
99 cents a ton on iTunes.
That's right. And also, guess what else you can find on iTunes? Well, damn it, the show you're listening to, which is probably how you found us.
Yes. And
Tom Clark's Main Event. Because, folks, at Boink Studios, we are all about shameless self-promotion. That's kind of who we are. So, glad you could join us.
And a good time.
We're going to not waste... Yes, because you know what? We're all about the fun. And we're fun folks. And as you can tell, this is the fun place to be right now. You've picked the right place to hang out because, we're pretty awesome. I've been telling people that for years. I don't know if anyone's listening anymore, but I've been telling people that for years. So, I don't know if it's working, but, well, you gotta. I gotta keep on keeping on. You know what I'm saying? Last show, which was episode 1, we talked quite a bit about the new Star Wars film, The Force Awakens, which is very close to hitting your local cinemas and selling out. You won't be able to get in for 2 weeks.
Is it the 19th?
18th.
18th.
And you call yourself a fan?
Well,
Jesus Christ.
The 18th is for those wackadoos that want to go and see a midnight showing. So I did that once. I did that once with Lord of the Rings, and true story. This is a true story that happened. It's like it was me, my brother, and my wife, and I think she was my wife at the time. And we decided we were going to go see Lord of the Rings midnight showing at this rinky-dink theater over in Ash Vegas, and we're sitting there.
Yes.
Place is frickin' packed. It's already packed when we're in there. The movie hasn't even started. And we're like kind of up towards the back, and we can look down and we can see down below us. They have a handicapped section, and it's basically it's like they took 2 of the theater chairs, crammed them together, and made like a handicap kind of couch deal. And we can clearly see that somebody is already sitting, in that section. But, it's like we can't tell whether or not the person that's sitting there is, what handicap they have. We just see the back of their heads. Well, out of our peripheral, this big, huge dude, he had to be, 300, 400 pounds, comes walking down the aisle, and he stops right there at the handicap section. And he's just staring at him. And me, of course, me and my brother, we noticed him right away, and we're just kind of like, elbowing each other, going, "What the fuck's going on?" And so he stands there for like 10 minutes, and he turns around, and he storms his way back up out of the theater. And so we're like, okay, so he's upset about something. So he comes back a couple minutes later with a security guard. Security guard follows him down to the section, and we could tell the security was having a conversation with the person in the seating, and so we're like, me and my brother are kind of getting, a little irritated at this dude. We're like, what are they doing? So they make the guy get up out of the handicap spot. But when he gets up, he's got crutches, and he's missing a leg. And we're like, oh, my God, big, legit handicap dude up out of the handicap spot just because he's too big to sit in the regular theater seat. And right then my brother yelled out, "That's not a handicap!" And everybody in the theater died laughing. So that big heavy-set dude had to sit there through that entire movie sitting there in shame because he made a one-legged dude get up out of a handicap spot just so he could sit and watch Lord of the Rings.
And and you know what? What a moron! Because I saw that as recently as like a day ago or so. Like this dude pushing 500 pounds in his van, sitting in the handicap spot, and I thought, Yeah, yeah, you need the handicap spot, don't you, Chubby? I mean, and here's
Because
here's
you'll
the
have
part
a heart attack.
right, yeah.
Walking
Here's
through
the part. Here's the part that brought it all back down to earth for me as I'm sitting there passing judgment on the 500-pound dude in the minivan. Which, by the way, 500-pound dude in a minivan is one of the funniest things you'll ever see. But I don't know why. I don't know why, but I'm thinking there's no room for Scooby and Shaggy in there, brother. I'm gonna tell you right now. But it's mystery. There's no mystery what happened to that machine. You see what I'm saying?
Well, he
But
probably killed and ate Scooby and Shaggy.
he probably ate them.
And he's sitting there in the
Yes.
front seat going, whoa, what was into those two dudes, you know?
Yeah. So he got the munchies right after he ate them, which was weird. But
Right, yeah.
what brought it all down to earth for me was that I happened to notice he was reading a comic book, and I thought, damn. Well, now I'm faced with I'm faced with okay, he's a brother in arms because he's obviously a fanboy. But he managed to convince the powers that be that he deserved a handicap sticker because, again, he's 500 pounds. And I'd like to get a handicap sticker just because I'm tired. I mean, I'd like to see that one fly. You know what I mean?
It's like I want a handicap sticker for being tired, being irritable.
I'm tired. I worked hard today. It's been a long day. I don't know what you want from me. That kind of thing. So, I don't know, dude. But, yeah, what a shame. People can be retarded. And again, if you are mentally handicapped and you're offended by that statement, we offer all sincere apologies.
It's like, look, it's like I realize that you're not going to fit into one of these regular seats, but come on, dude. If you want to see the movie that bad, sit in the aisle.
Exactly.
Sit in the aisle.
Yeah.
Don't make the handicapped dude where he, clearly needs to be sitting. Get up and move.
Kidding. Yeah. Nonsense.
Have some respect have some respect for others, and then turn around and start having respect for yourself, and saying, okay, maybe it's time to lose some weight.
Well, see, now you're asking for a lot. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know really what you're thinking, but dude, you're asking for a lot. Self-respect.
I mean, it's like I'm not thin by no means, but
right.
Still, it's like. Come back and see a later show. Or, come back the next day and see it. See a matinee when there's hardly anybody there.
And whoever you
That's
are,
the stuff
you may
do.
whoever you are, really big fat dude in Ash Vegas, North Carolina, you have made the cut of episode 2, so you should feel pretty damn good because
that's right. We gave you honorable mentions. Maybe
exactly.
Not
yeah,
mentions.
I mean, who else is going to get that? Yeah, you got horrible. You're going to be on the wall of shame for Tom and Kyle's Comedy Action Hour, buddy. Just so you know. Oh, that's good stuff. So, all right. Right. So, okay. So here's what we're gonna do. We've not really kicked this thing off.
No, you're right.
So, yeah. See, we get talking about crazy, wacky stuff happening around us. But that's really what we do. We just talk about whether it's wacky movies or wacky TV or whatever the hell it is. That's what we're going to do because we tend to be wacky people. But we're going to get into this. And I got to tell this is what I'm going to talk about. We didn't get to cover it last episode, but Captain America Civil War. And I'm excited. Yes. This is not the Civil War that you're familiar with if you're a comic book fan that happened in the books. This is not the same Civil War.
No.
Civil War in name only.
I seriously doubt they'll have a cannonball, invoke a nuclear attack. But
Was it Cannonball that did that? I was under the impression it was a villain, like a B-list villain. Am I wrong?
Well, it was. What was it? I think it was it's one of the younger groups of superheroes, and it's like they were attacking. What's his name? The nuclear guy that's in the Marvel Universe.
Yeah, that's right. You're right about that. Yeah,
and he blows up in like a residential area, and then it just spirals out of control from there. But I'm looking forward to them actually being able to see Black Panther on the big screen. That's got me really excited.
Oh my God! If you have to go online and check out the high-res images of Black Panther, there's some still because I think it's come out in Entertainment Weekly, and if you go to comicmovie.com, it's got the high-res images from Entertainment Weekly, and man, he looks amazing.
Yeah, he looks badass.
I mean, he does. He's got the necklace, like the teeth around his neck, and he's got the claws. Oh my God, he looks so good. And I
wonder if they're going to make him. I wonder if they're going to make him where they're retractable.
That'd be cool, right? They can do anything. The technology they have in Wakanda, it's supposed to be this third world country, and yet they're. I often liken Wakanda to Atlantis because they're supposed to be this
and
race
I wonder if
of
they're going
people.
To his throwing daggers.
I wouldn't be surprised. Because, well, like we said in the first episode, man, the great thing about Marvel's properties that are being put on the big screen is the fact that the guys being given the responsibility, and gals being given the responsibility of translating the projects to the big screen, do it so much justice. They have so much love and respect for the original source material. And if you don't believe that, go look at the high-res image of Black Panther, because he looks like he stepped straight out of the comic book. He looks amazing.
Yeah, it looks phenomenal.
That's what I'm looking forward to. I love the idea of Bucky Barnes, a.k.a. the Winter Soldier, being the reason that the Civil War is starting, because it appears to be, from what I gather, it appears to be that Cap is shielding him from Iron Man and the federal government because they want to get their hands on him for the crimes he's committed. I suppose. Right.
And
I've heard
he wouldn't have been under. Yeah, I mean, he was under someone else's control. Right. So I mean, it's shaping up like from the trailer, it's shaping up to be something just as good as Captain America: Winter Soldier.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be more of a follow. I don't think it's going to be as much of like a part 3 as it's going to be on. I think it'll outdo part 2, honestly. And I loved part 2. I thought part 2 was really well done, and I think that it's going to be an excellent film.
I'm wondering if they're going to, because I know that they're going to bleed Civil War into some of the other movies.
Oh yeah.
But I'm wondering if it's going to be like if they're going to do this Captain America and then maybe have another part. Because ultimately, in the comic series, Captain America dies. So, are they going to do the same thing around on this? Or are they going to kill off Captain America?
Spoiler alert, by the way, Captain.
Yeah.
Captain
you don't already know.
Yeah, he might eat it.
If you haven't read the comics,
they might carry him out on his shield. Like he might have a Viking send off at the end of this film. I don't know, but. Talking about the Winter Soldier, dude, how good is Sebastian Stan as a Winter Soldier, as Bucky Barnes? How good is that guy? I mean, just very believable. He draws you in. He makes you care about him. I mean, I thought he did a bang-up job.
These characters that don't get a lot of recognition, too.
Yes.
Because, I mean, if you think about them doing a Marvel movie, you wouldn't have thought them doing the Winter Soldier.
Right.
But
if you think about it, it's
storyline. He played into the storyline really well in the Captain America movie, and
right.
I mean, they made him look really cool.
And it's the natural progression of Captain America. Like you can't, how in the world you could do Batman without doing Robin? I mean, and I've heard it said that you don't necessarily have to do Robin to have Batman. But to me, you can't do Captain America without having Bucky at some level, because Bucky's death was instrumental in Captain America becoming the hero he later became. And Bucky's resurrection was also instrumental in what Captain America became later as well. So right. he played a major turning point in Cap's life on two different fronts. You could argue that Dick Grayson just grew up and said, all right, pal, thanks for the Thanks for the digs for the past 12 years, but I'm out of here.
Thanks for the free training.
Yeah, and I'm
now
gone.
I'm going to go out on my own and score some women.
Exactly. And then you could argue that, Jason Todd was a friggin' moron and decided to storm in, and the Joker.
He was a train wreck, though.
Yeah, Joker kills him. But then you could also argue that Jason Todd sort of becomes, Batman's Bucky because he's brought back later as the Red Hood.
Exactly.
It's funny because which company was it? Was it Marvel that used to have the tagline, Marvel Comics, where dead is dead? Remember that?
Yeah.
I think it was Marvel that had that tagline where dead is dead.
No. Wasn't it DC that had the tagline, dead is dead? And the Marvel was like, they left it open to where it's like anybody could come back. Because, even though the building comes crashing down on your nemesis, that's not a sure sign that he's dead, because they always leave it open to where it's like there's some way that he could have escaped, and that's why, you 20 issues down the line, you have that dude show back up again.
That's true. You can't, in comic books...
They did it 1,000 times with Dr. Doom.
Oh, my God, yeah. Doom found the Lazarus pit is what I'm thinking happened at some point, because, that guy just keeps coming back. But,
right.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think it's... but again, like going back to Sebastian Stan, a guy that just embraces the role. And here's the funny part, is that the actors in all the Marvel movies are not doing anything groundbreaking in terms of playing the part. They're just embracing the role. Any good actor that wants to be there is going to naturally embrace the role because he wants to do a good job. It's just that we haven't seen, as a fan collective, this amount of explosion, this many popular actors and actresses out there.
Even this kind of enthusiasm for it. I mean,
right, exactly, yeah. Embracing the roles, such as we've seen in the past 15 years. I love watching the
Comic-Con panels, especially when these like big shows and big movies come out, and seeing the shows that are succeeding and the movies that are succeeding, and how well the actors that portray these characters embrace the fans, because from that you can tell that they really care about what they're working on. And
for sure.
The effort
it matters to
into
them.
It.
Oh yeah, and they love what they're doing. They get along. I mean, dude, camaraderie has a lot to do with a lot of stuff. And if you know my work, I'm a pro wrestling guy. Kyle's into it as well a little bit, and if you don't have camaraderie, if you don't have the ability to get along well with others, you're going to become a problem in the ring, you're going to become a problem on the road. You're going to be hard to work with. If you get a reputation of being hard to work with, you're not going to get booked very much. So
guys aren't going to like you.
Exactly. Yeah. So
soon your family excludes you from, social gatherings.
Yeah, and this has been happening to Kyle for years.
Yes.
And
I did have my father over. I did have my father and my stepmother over for Thanksgiving. I made a turkey. Yeah.
Did you do the turkey?
I did the turkey. It was just it was an in the bag turkey. You cooked it while it was frozen. Just throw it in the oven. It turned out pretty good.
Sweet.
It was a no-brainer kind of turkey.
How is your dude? Tell me your dad still has the Harley. Does he still have it?
Yeah, he does. He doesn't ride. He doesn't ride it anymore. It's in the basement, but he still has it.
That's good.
He's gotten kind of frail in his old age. Yet he's not able to do as much as he used to. But we had him over here, and we were watching the Carolina Panthers play the Dallas Cowboys, and it's like my father has been a long-time Dallas Cowboy fan, and of course my brother's sitting there rooting for the Carolina Panthers, and of course, Panthers are dominating Dallas, and my brother's like, just throwing one-liners out left and right, and I'm just like, I just turned to him, I'm like, dude, he's sitting right there. I'm not.
It's
like, feel free to flip him off. It's like I I won't fault you for it. In fact, I'll photograph it. We'll turn it into a meme. We'll post it on the internet. Oh.
Well, you know me, I'm not a Panthers guy, so I have no dog in that hunt or in that race. You know what I mean? I don't have a dog in the race of Panthers versus Cowboys. I'm going to tell you right now, any day Dallas loses is a good day for me, straight up. Any day Dallas or Green Bay loses, because I'm a Vikings fan. It was
terrible.
So.
I mean, Romo, like he re-injured himself, so it wasn't a good game.
Yeah.
Oh, it was a sad event.
Tony Romo is becoming the Rey Mysterio of the NFL, because every time he steps on the field, he hurts himself. And I'll be honest with you, you're gonna see Tony Romo. I believe he's gonna eventually have to hang it up, because it's gonna become very obvious that, dude, we're glad you got a good heart for the game and all of the crap, whatever you got going on with you, but dude, you can't keep up. It's not. The game's going to pass him by, so I don't really care if the game passes him by. I can't stand the guy myself, but, all I need to know about Romo is the first time I ever saw the dude do an interview with his hat turned around backwards, and I said, wow, I remember doing that when I was 12. That's great. So, here's an idea. You're a millionaire, and you're probably having sex with a supermodel every night. Do me a favor. Turn your hat around the front way there, Skippy, and Jesus Christ, have some self-respect. You know what I'm saying? What, do you got a rap video coming out? What's going on? It's crazy. I don't get that at all. But again, he is the Dallas Cowboys quarterback, so I can't expect too much in terms of IQ from that joker. So, yeah. So you never know what you're going to get.
Clearly, you're not a Dallas fan. That's what you're saying.
You could say I have a very intense dislike for the team. Yes. You never know what you're going to get in the Comedy Action Hour, folks. You're going to get comic book movies, NFL, death, hate.
Sports and leisure.
Yeah, and just stay tuned. You're going to be inundated with more violent vitriol than you've ever heard in your life. So
that's right.
You've got it by the bucket.
Getting back on track with Captain America: Civil War, my favorite part of the trailer would have to be the fight between Winter Soldier, Captain America, and Iron Man. That was just, it's like, okay, I have a boner now.
Yes.
And I'm definitely going to put my cash down to see this movie.
Do you have a boner or a boner? I have a raging boner. Yeah, it's, and you got to wonder what led to that moment, because if Tony has his repulsors, why the hell is he not blasting the crap out of both of them?
Right. Well, he's probably holding back. He's like, I don't want to hurt this, my friend of mine. I don't really care about this Winter Soldier guy, but I'm kind of friends with Captain America. I don't know what to do.
Oh my God! Oh my God, Snoopy! Snoopy's dead, right? He's like, I don't give a crap. I don't give a crap about Woodstock, but Snoopy.
That was a piece of art. Going to see the Peanuts movie.
What a good
phenomenal,
movie,
dude.
Oh my God! I took my kid and he loved it, and I loved it. And
it was like watching a CG Charlie Brown special. It was awesome. And after the movie, me and my wife, we applauded it, because we're like, they didn't try to update it in any way. Like, they still had typewriters in it. They still had telephones that were attached to, cords. True. I was like, so they didn't try to, modernize it in any way, and they kept it classic, and it was really good. I mean, I was in love with that movie.
Yeah, no iPhones in the Charlie Brown Peanuts movie. Well, that's fine with me, because it didn't need it. But, it's funny, because I think that Charles Schultz's people did a fine job of timing, honestly, because you got the new Star Wars film that's going to be out soon, very soon, and it's a way to link our generation with the new generation. Fathers taking their kids, say, look, son, this is what Daddy grew up watching. These are the actors that Daddy saw. This is Han Solo, and I get to do that with my kids. So the Peanuts movie comes along at just the right time, because you have that father-son moment, that mother-daughter moment, where you're like, look, Mommy grew up watching this too. And it's such a very smart move to have released it the way they did when they did. And that's going to become the thing.
Blue Sky did a really good job with the animation on it too. They didn't,
so good. Yeah,
they didn't overdo it, and there was a lot of points in it where it resembled the old comic strips, which I liked.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, they made sure, and they snuck in quite a few Easter eggs from the Christmas special and from the Thanksgiving and Halloween special.
Yeah,
that was good stuff. You had to be paying attention for some of it, but you had some good stuff in there. And you know what occurred to me is about 2/3 of the way into the film, I had a genuine hatred in my heart for all the damn kids bagging on Charlie Brown. I'm like, all right, you know what? I've had enough because,
right.
You know what I mean? Because you expect it.
It was great because it's like, they would put Charlie Brown down, but like he rose above it in such a great way, like almost accidentally. Which
we keep quoting Family Guy, and it's like it's no wonder in the McFarlane verse of Family Guy that Charlie Brown ends up being a drug addict and like a loser later because, dude, how could you withstand that much bullying and that much punishment as a child and not end up knocking off liquor?
You can't do anything, Charlie Brown.
How do you?
Oh yeah, I can sell a kidney on the black market.
I was waiting for that special. You suck ass, Charlie Brown. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, you suck ass, Charlie Brown.
You're a waste of flesh, Charlie Brown.
I didn't see that when I lived it.
That's good stuff. Yeah, man. I had a genuine hate in my heart for animated characters that are not even real people. And I was like, all right, that's enough. Stop. Like, you expect him to get ripped on.
Stop doing that.
After a while, it's like, all right, someone needs to call these kids' parents. Where the hell are the parents at? Because, this
like
poor
some
Charlie
of them
Brown's...
some of them you can pull off. Like, the ones that are designed... Like Josie and the Pussycats, you can pull off because they were designed to look very humanized. But like Garfield, don't do a live action on Garfield. Come on.
Oh, it's terrible. What a horrendous idea. And the right guy was doing the voice, Bill Murray, of course, right guy, because he was as close to Lorenzo Music, who did the original voice, as anybody I've ever heard. He was very close. But again, live action, it's a CG cat and all that other nonsense. I don't get it. But I didn't get that at all. But all right, so going back to the narrative of the Civil War, folks, if you want to read about it, please go check out the Boink Studios website, tomclarkbr.wix.com/boink. On a column I posted on November 25th. Was called Civil War Comes to the Marvel Universe, and it's just sort of a look ahead at what the film is going to be like. And I made the point in the column that it looks like, from the outset of the trailers, it looks like it could be called Captain America v Iron Man. But it's funny that they chose not to go that route, even though that's what it looks. And my whole point to the situation was, like in DC, like Batman and Superman cannot inhabit the same space at the same time for very long because they are meant to destroy each other. They're two sides of the same coin, but they're different. I mean, literally night and day difference between the two people. And for my money, I don't know if I've known two characters meant to destroy each other besides Batman and Joker than I do Batman and Superman, because while Batman is clearly not Superman's equal, he is clearly Superman's, he's higher up on Superman on the food chain in terms of just intellect. And Batman doesn't trust a soul, and Superman trusts like everybody. And that in the end of most stories where there's a battle to the death, or there's a fight, or there's a whatever, people say, well, Superman can crush Batman.
That's why Superman will constantly get prison shanked by Lex Luthor.
Exactly.
With his back turned.
Right.
He's not going to do anything to me. Because all bad guys play by the rules.
Yeah, good can triumph over evil. Suddenly, your Superman got real corn-fed there for a second. How the hell did that happen?
Well, he's from Kansas, right?
He is from Kansas. That's a good point. If you're gonna have a redneck, in the DC universe, why is it not Superman at this point? That's a great point. Yeah. Superman.
He's educated.
So Lois interviews him and says, "Superman, what do you fight for?" "Me? Oh, ma'am, it's simple. I fight for truth, justice, and the American way."
American way.
You gotta wonder. You gotta I can't imagine
That's
that
why
Superman.
my blue and yellow, blue and red.
Blue and yellow.
He looks. There, you know.
Yeah.
I couldn't fit any black.
He's got to look down to see what color. Wait, is there yellow? Yeah, I forgot about that being there.
Yeah, right there. Yeah.
That shit was white, but it done faded, and that's how it's yellow now. So, I thought I'd spilled some mustard on me. They got these great hot dogs down the street. You know that vendor down there by the corner of the Daily Bugle? Daily Bugle, did you hear that? Daily Planet. Sorry, Lois, got my damn universes mixed up. And the whole time she's doing this interview, it's like, what the hell is he talking about?
Like, who is this guy?
That's a very different headline. It goes from, what is it, Superman?
Like, because he falls to Earth as a baby in the middle of, Lompoc, Kansas. So
that's true. And if you're a product of your environment,
right?
Yeah, you know where I'm going, right? If you're a product of your environment, then why does he not sound like farm people would sound? All due respect to any farm people that might be listening. By the way, if you're a farm people listening to the show, shouldn't you be on your tractor right now? I'm just saying. I'm just asking a question. But go out there and toil the land. They're
getting up right now to do the chores.
This is true. Well, depending on what time of day you're listening to this, that's the beauty of podcasting. You can. That's 2 a.m. sounds like, it doesn't really matter because I don't do live. I don't do live very well. You know what I'm saying? I like to tape my shit because I mean live and in living color, it's a scary thing because I need coffee. I need to I need to relax. But if I can record this stuff,
started on coffee.
Oh my God, I can't.
It's like I could go for a pot of coffee right now.
Oh my God, dude, I have a cup every morning. I can't go. And here's the funny part. I don't drink coffee to wake up. I don't drink it to get through the morning. I drink it because I enjoy the taste of it. And a lot of people don't even like the taste of coffee, but they drink it because it becomes a habit, because of the caffeine, all that crap. Oh, I'm addicted to caffeine. And dude, I could have a cup of coffee at 1 a.m. and go to bed at 1:30 and be perfectly fine and get sleep. And a lot of people can't do that.
Yeah.
And I've always been able to for some weird reason. But
nice.
Speaking of coffee. I know, right? Speaking of cup of coffee, when it comes to Batman, that's not even a segue. That was terrible. It doesn't make any sense.
He's not lukewarm at all, no.
He's a steaming pile of shit. No, I don't know where that came from. But no, it's funny because, again, I've always been of the opinion, it's become abundantly clear in the past several years especially, Superman and Batman are meant to destroy each other. They cannot co-inhabit the same universe for very long without them coming to blows. It's just impossible. But the difference between those two guys, Cap and Iron Man are not meant to destroy each other, right? Because
not at all.
No, the relationship between Batman and Superman is a very unique one. It's like, and this is the point I made in the column. It's Shakespearean in nature because, like Brutus, Batman seems destined to bring down Superman, who is the Julius Caesar of the DC universe. If you really want to look at it,
sure,
because he attains all this power. He's got all this power. All Superman would have to do is stand on the White House lawn and say, "Bow to me now."
Exactly.
Bow to me right now. And the press gives that look to each other like.
That's the reason why Batman has a contingency plan to take down all these big heroes. Because if they ever decide to slide,
yes,
he's going to put a stop to it.
One of the best issues, the best issue by far that I've ever read of Justice League. I think it was in Justice League, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Where they stumble upon Batman's contingency plan to kill every member of the Justice League. And when he's confronted by his teammates,
like, hey,
he's like, "Damn right I did it, and I'll do it again." You know what I mean?
Right? Yeah. And I hope they burn to hell. It's like Batman getting all Samuel Jackson on him, you know.
I will rain down fire upon thee with vengeance. Oh my God!
It was great because it was like the only one that agreed with him was Martian Manhunter, and he was like, "Yeah, I do the same thing."
Oh,
he's like, "I can't blame him."
That's such good stuff. Listen, by the way, if you want to look that particular issue up, it's Justice League number 19. And I don't know what run that is. This was back around 2013, 2012, something like that.
Because they've had several
is what it was.
Different Justice League titles.
Yeah, I don't know which.
West and
This is Justice League of America. Yeah. Let's see. Justice League number 19 revealed to us that Batman has contingency plans for the Justice League's Big Seven. And in essence, he's got a plan to kill every single one of them. Because at the end of the day, Bruce Wayne's explanation is, I can't trust anyone. I'm a regular guy, and I'm surrounded by you people, and you people have powers beyond my comprehension. I'm a smart dude.
yeah, I'm a smart.
And he's like, I got to be able to take you out. If you become a problem, I got to be able to take you out. And that's some of the best stuff I've ever read. That they're complete shock at the fact that he would even contemplate this.
They're like, what?
He's so flippant. He's so flippant about it. Isn't that awesome? That he's just like you said, he goes all Samuel Jackson on him. What a terrible casting choice.
Could you imagine Robin being there? They all look at him and he's just like, I don't know what to say.
I don't know what to Wait. No. They look at Robin as if to say, what the hell? And Robin's like, you think he lets me look at the computer? Are you fucking kidding me? Like, I can't.
Yeah. He doesn't let me near his stuff.
He's like, dude, I'm 22. I can't even drive the damn car. I mean, he gave me a motorcycle. It's like a moped, dude. I can't even. Jesus. I can't even pick. I mean, look at the motorcycle. How am I going to get a chick on that? You know what I mean? It's too tiny, right? But
he still does that deal. He'll tell me to get into the Batmobile, and he'll rev forward a little bit. Pisses me off.
And if I got to take a leak, I got to do it before we leave the cave, son. Because if I don't, and we pull over, he does that thing, and I'm like, what the hell, you know? I've always loved.
You should have went before we left the cave.
I told you. And see if you're the Christian Bale Batman. I told you not to drink that milk. You had too much. He's like growling at him. Oh my God!
We got a butler. We'll bring us whatever we want.
I don't understand why I can't have it. Yeah, I don't. You know, this is why a character like Batman, as awesome as he is, and it's hard to look at Batman drawn by Jim Lee and not, wet your pants, because Jim Lee is hands down one of the best comic book artists. Forget comic book, one of the best artists I've ever seen. The dude is he's just phenomenal.
I've got last year's General Mills monster cereal that he did. He
really?
Did Blueberry.
He did.
I kept the box.
Dude, that's awesome. Although I was always a Frankenberry guy. You know what I mean?
Frankenberry, yeah. I was always a Frankenberry fan, but
yeah,
Jim Lee did Blueberry.
I like the strawberry, but yeah, he.
It actually all tasted the same.
It's kind of like
except for maybe Count Chocula.
Yeah. It's kind of like what's his name? Help me out here. Can't believe it. Lewis Black. It's kind of Lewis Black's rant on NyQuil and DayQuil, and he's like, it's the only thing that tastes blue and the only thing that tastes red, right? It's kind of like the same idea, like Frankenberry. I'm doing my hand as I do the voice, like when he points at you, right? This is Frankenberry tastes red and blueberry tastes blue, right? That's
right. Frankenberry tastes red. Blueberry tastes blue.
Oh my God! How has Lewis Black not found his way onto a Marvel movie yet? Why the hell has that not happened? And who's responsible for that not happening? I gotta ask you.
Well, he made his way into a Pixar film, which is great.
That's
very
like, true.
You know, and he couldn't have been chosen for a better character. Anger.
Well, let me ask you this. All right, you are a creator. You are a creator. You're in charge of talent for Marvel's cinematic universe, and you're told,
right,
we love Lewis Black. We need to get him in a movie. Who would you cast? And don't create a character for me, but tell me, who would Lewis Black portray in your Marvel universe? Give me somebody.
God.
Because I would think he would be too funny to be a villain. I don't know if he could be a villain, but he needs to be like. You know, I'm thinking more like
kind of like he needs to be like in a capacity of like say a J. Jonah Jameson or something like that.
Oh my God! You know what? Screw it. You just answered it. Done. Game over. Lewis Black is J. Jonah Jameson. Screw it. That's perfect. Are you kidding me right now?
Yeah.
Stop. Just stop. Shut up.
I can see
perfect.
It.
Yes.
I can see it.
And I don't care about the Hitler mustache and the gray and the flat top. I don't care.
I like J.K. Simmons' portrayal.
I do too.
J. Jonah. I thought it was spot on.
Yes.
So I mean, don't get me wrong, but
you can't top that. But if you're told you have to recast it and he's not interested or he's busy, and I don't know what they're going to do for Spider-Man that comes out in 2017. I hope that they cast Jonah, and I hope the hell it's Lewis Black, and I hope they listen to the show and they get the idea because Lewis Black is. And like I said, forget about the typical flat top and Hitler mustache and cigar because it's a new day. These characters don't necessarily have to look like the way they're drawn anymore. For God's sake, Lawrence Fishburne was Perry White in the Superman film. Yeah. Who cares? Yeah. So Lewis Black is my J. Jonah Jameson. All right, here it is. Let's do one better. I love fantasy casting. Okay. So we're going to fantasy cast the new Spider-Man film to come out that's due out in 2017. So we've got our J. Jonah Jameson. Okay. Spider-Man has been cast, and I believe the kid is British. He's a British actor, yes?
They're all British.
It's true. They all are.
They are. They're all turned out to be British. Like, what the hell?
Everybody on The Walking Dead's fucking British, right? So.
half of them are British. So it's like, it wouldn't be a surprise.
You got Tom Holland.
I'm looking forward to Doctor Strange.
I am too.
Cumberbatch is Doctor Strange is an excellent choice. I mean, yes. They've shown pictures of him sporting the goatee. Yes. He looks great.
He looks awesome.
I think he'll make a really good Sorcerer Supreme.
I think so too.
They showed an art, an art piece of what you can expect him to look like, and it's shaping up really good.
I think he's going to be because again, dude. Ant-Man that could have been laughed out of theaters.
Exactly. Yeah.
Was so good because why? Because Paul Rudd is a normal guy. Paul Rudd's human. Paul Rudd could be your best friend. He looks like that guy that you'd call and say, dude, you want to go see a movie? I'm cool. I'm in. And he'll go. And he looks like that guy. Like Tony Stark, Robert Downey Jr. looks like he could be a multimillionaire playboy. Because, dude, he was a multimillionaire playboy. And probably he is now again. See? Paul Rudd just looks like a normal guy. Benedict Cumberbatch looks like he is very educated. He's very smart. He's deep thinking. Dude, this is how you cast a comic book film. I mean, Tom Holland is 19 that's going to play Spider-Man. 19-year-old kid, and he's a kid. And if you're going to make Spider-Man young, why not pick an actor that's got a pretty good track record who's, by the way, not 25 pretending to be 19?
True.
I mean,
so
exactly. They've got the right idea, man. So listen, I got to get back to this. You're going to cast, Tom Holland's being cast. You can't cast Spider-Man. Sorry. So you got Lewis Black as your J. Jonah Jameson, right?
Yeah.
If you're doing this and you're going to reboot the entire thing, do you have Norman Osborn? And if so, who is he? Who's your Norman Osborn?
No, I wouldn't do it. I would go a direction kind of like how they did with the Amazing Spider-Man, and throw in a villain that, you know, they just don't normally use. But I would also use him as a spin-off because they really desperately want to do a Venom movie. I would do Matt Gargan and do the Scorpion.
That's not bad. I like the Scorpion. I would like the Scorpion over the Vulture.
Yeah, definitely.
Because I think if they portray the Vulture, all right.
And I would also bring back in Sam Rockwell as Justin Hammer and have him design. Yeah, because he designed, he was redesigning the costumes for these, you know, villains like Scorpion and Rhino. So I would bring Sam Rockwell back in and have him replay that role. So that way you can tie Spider-Man back into the Marvel Universe.
That's a great idea, honestly, because I like Rockwell a lot, and I mean, honestly, the Justin Hammer character was a little too over the top to be believed, but that doesn't mean that he didn't do a bang up job playing the character, because he sure did, and he was like.
You could do a darker Spider-Man film and introduce Silvermane.
That would be dark.
Yeah.
But you know, what if you went, all right, here's a good one. Okay, all right. Forget everything you said about the villains. I like your ideas, but not this time. Craven the Hunter.
Yes, yeah.
Stop it. Don't give me that stuff.
That's a storyline that people want to see.
Torment. You got to incorporate Todd McFarlane's Torment into the story.
Yeah.
Where he literally buries him alive and just, he tries to take his life from him. I mean, just, you know, it's one of those things that Peter spends years trying to get over. You know what I mean?
Now, who would you be your choice for Craven the Hunter?
Craven. Wow, dude, that's a tough one. I mean, do you go with older? You would obviously go with older, but would you go older yet athletic and in great shape so he could pull off
Tom Hardy.
Tom Hardy would be an interesting choice because he's older, but he can get, if he's not in phenomenal shape right now, he can get that way. I wonder if Tom Hardy would play Bane and play Craven the Hunter in the same lifetime. Of course, I mean, we're going to see Ryan Reynolds, who's played Green Lantern, yawn. Let's all forget that one.
Right.
That was my homage to Batman Returns. Did you like that? That's my Christopher Walken.
I did. I mean, Green Lantern. The concept of Green Lantern, the whole movie concept of Green Lantern was great.
Yeah.
But it could, because I really like the character Hal Jordan, and I don't think they did that character justice.
No, they didn't. It was terrible.
The Green Lantern movie.
Yeah, it was terrible. It was just really, really bad. Like, it just wasn't good at all.
Right.
I like Ryan Reynolds, but Ryan Reynolds, to me, there's a fine line between Hal Jordan being, you know, Spider-Man or being Deadpool. And I don't say Deadpool because of Reynolds, but stay with me here, because Spider-Man has that, as he's fighting you, he's being like a smart ass. But Deadpool is so over the top and so cornball with his jokes and his one-liners. And to me, Ryan Reynolds went way too far to that point, instead of being more like, okay, I'm an ordinary guy trapped in a weird situation, and by the way, I'm kind of a smart ass. because that's what I see
right.
Peter like. I always saw Peter Parker using his sense of humor and his way of looking at life as a self-defense mechanism, as a way of coping with the dangers of being Spider-Man. Like I always saw him like
and
using
that
jokes and whatnot to cope with it.
Added it into his combat routine because he would always use it against the people that he was fighting, and they would just get angrier and angrier, then he'd want to squash him.
And it makes a lot of sense,
he's so lightning quick, they're not going to be able to.
And of course, in any type of fight, the more you can anger someone, the more you can fill them with rage, the easier they're going to be to get them off their game plan. You know what I mean? They'll be more frantic when they take a swing. They won't have thought about their moves. They'll just keep coming at you, and that's when you'll find your opening. Versus, they know what they're going to do. They've got a game plan. They know how they're going to attack you. They're only going to hit when necessary. Versus, you piss them off to the point that they're swinging like wildly. And then you can find your opening and slide in and make the kill. So, yeah, good point. Good point on that. That's something only a fanboy would come up with, is that Spider-Man using his...
Spider-Man using his... he's naturally witty, but I think he does, use it to his advantage. Whereas Deadpool is just nuts, and he just slings it out there because he's, out of his mind.
Right. He uses his shuck and jive. Spider-Man's shucking and jiving like crazy.
But plus, also, it's like Deadpool can, get shot and maimed, whereas Spider-Man can't.
And that would eventually drive you insane.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, we don't have to go into a lot of depth on it, but you got to talk a little bit about Deadpool. Dude, and again, folks, just in case you're wondering, there's also a column on the aforementioned Boink website that was posted on November 27th, because yours truly has been quite the busy bee. November 27th, and it's called "Deadpool Takes Aim at Hollywood," in which I put forth the notion that Deadpool should be a hit. Ryan Reynolds is owning the role. I think that after this movie, you're going to say he's the only guy that could have played this part, just like Downey is the only guy that could have played Tony Stark. No one else can do it. I don't think anyone else is going to be able to play Deadpool, but I have a couple of concerns. One, will Deadpool be able to find a big enough audience to become a smash hit? Because you can't take your kids; it's rated R, so you don't have that connection. And plus, I don't know that we've ever seen a character quite like him in movies before, where he's costumed. And I posed this question in the column. Will fans go in droves on opening weekend only to walk away disappointed? Because when was the last time that a masked vigilante with a sense of humor in an R-rated film was a smash hit?
Right.
I don't know that it ever has happened, honestly, because
I think it'll do well. I don't think it'll, be like Avengers numbers, but I think it'll do well. Because there's enough fans of Deadpool that'll go see it.
That's true, but my take on it, and you're 100% right about that, by the way. He's got the R rating, and that puts Deadpool in Punisher territory. And you and I both know that Punisher territory has not been good so far for Marvel, even though Ray Stevenson in the Punisher Warzone was tremendous. I mean, he looked like...
Oh, yeah.
He looked like a Garth Ennis drawing come to life. I mean, just...
or a John Romita Jr.
John Romita Jr., yes. And just looked the part. I mean...
Very reminiscent of Punisher Warzone, which...
Yes. And of course, issue number 1, the original Punisher Warzone was the die-cut cover. Yeah, it was a die-cut red cover. And, I mean, I don't know. I hope it does well. The second concern I have, I know you've seen the trailer for Deadpool. The whole explanation was that he's got a girl, and he was going in to have this thing done. It was for her and all this stuff. And I'm like, what?
He ends up getting like a severe form of cancer.
Yeah.
And he takes this experimental procedure to rid him of it, but he ends up getting, his abilities through it. But it scars him all over his body.
And, at the same time, it's not the Weapon X program, because as we all know, Deadpool was put through the Weapon X program in the books. So, I don't know. The Merc with the Mouth. We'll see.
Yep.
The suit looks amazing. Ron Reynolds, in fact, has appeared in full costume on Twitter. He's taken pictures. It's been funny as hell. Took that picture of himself laying down on the bear rug in front of the fireplace, which was amazing. He went out trick-or-treating in his neighborhood in full Deadpool costume. Now,
that's awesome.
Dude, he was out there with the kids and stuff, posing for pictures and stuff. If that... Dude, I don't know what happened. I don't much care, and if I'm wrong, so be it. But the fan in me would like to think that he did that of his own accord. That was not the director or the studio saying, "Hey, Ryan, you should do out there for a photo opportunity and promote the movie."
I would lean more towards, it was his idea.
Yeah.
Than it was like the studio's idea.
And see, Ryan Reynolds. We're talking about how Paul Rudd is expertly cast as Ant-Man. Ryan Reynolds seems to me like the same guy that could be your buddy that you'd call up and want to go hang out with, but he's 10 minutes away from pissing you off so bad you want to punch him. You know what I mean?
Right.
So if that's who Deadpool is, then that's perfect.
The Van Wilder.
Exactly. Like, you feel like he would have your back, but if you could just tolerate his stupid sense of humor, you'd be fine. But he's such a dick sometimes. And, and if that's who Deadpool is, and he is, then you need to get a guy that can make that correspond. Because I've heard theories put out there about, and Kevin Smith came up with this too. Props to Kevin Smith, by the way. He's kind of the front runner for guys like us to do podcasting and all this other stuff. But Kevin Smith proposed it like they fantasy casted Fantastic Four, and he had Tom Cruise as his pick for Reed Richards, because he's like, if you want to overcome the terrible press that was left from that last, atrocious excuse for a Fantastic Four film, then screw it, go all out, go for broke, have Spielberg direct it, and bring on Tom Cruise as Mr. Fantastic.
Exactly.
But I still think Lewis.
I think Spielberg could pull off a superhero movie.
I think Spielberg can pull off any damn thing he wants. I think he's directed every kind of movie. The guy that did Schindler's List also did Jaws, and also did Close Encounters, and also did Raiders. I'm like, oh my God! Like the guy is.
I mean, if you think about it, Indiana Jones is somewhat of a superhero. I mean, it's like you think about it's like, okay, you've got Superman. He's probably the earliest superhero, but you could also go back even further. I mean, you could say that Tarzan is technically a superhero.
That's true.
It's just, how you look at it.
That's true.
Or the Lone Ranger. Even the Lone Ranger would be technically, a vigilante, and he was well before even Batman.
Yeah, mass vigilante.
And
if you're talking, By the way, folks, if we mentioned Tarzan there, if you've not seen the trailer for Tarzan, you have to go check it out, because it's dude, go check out the trailer. It looks really good. And
I'm glad they're bringing those old characters back, which is kind of nice.
Yeah, I am too. And again, dude, I think it's the Peanuts and Star Wars factor.
Yeah,
dude, the smartest thing that any Hollywood production company can do is link the past to the present, because, dude, that's two entirely different segments of fans that you can bring to the theater. Because at the end of the day, it's all about, if you can't turn a profit with these movies, then you've not done it properly. So you've got to make money. You know what I mean? But Edgar Rice Burroughs' creation is coming out July 1st of next year, called The Legend of Tarzan.
Ooh, nice.
And the dude that plays him if you can pronounce his name. Alexander Skarsgård, I guess is how you pronounce it.
Mm.
He's ripped, dude. He's ripped like John Cena. For Christ's sake, he's ripped like John Cena. And I think it's going to be. By the way, Sam Jackson's in the movie. By the way.
Oh, is he?
Yes, he is. He damn right, Tarzan died. He deserved to die. I hope he burns in hell. You know. But I think that the relationship, but if you want this movie to work, Jane has to be perfect.
Yeah.
Because it has to be believable. Do you remember the Tarzan from the 80s that had Bo Derek? And she was topless through a lot of the film. I have fond memories of that Tarzan movie. Oh my God. I have very fond memories of that Tarzan film.
Wasn't the Greystoke Tarzan, was it?
No, it was before that. It was Bo Derek, flat out topless. I mean, not bad to look at all because she was still, wow. It was, that's a fun film. Go watch it. Find it. I'm getting flashbacks of Bo Derek.
I'm going to.
Well, by God, if I can't watch the film, I'll at least go see the naughty shots of it. All right, let's look this up.
The naughty shots.
Yeah, so that's always a good.
And I'm talking about the monkey.
That's right. God bless the Google machine.
And in case you don't know anything about Tarzan, I mean, we're talking about a dude that was raised by apes in the jungle. He had a freaking chimp named Cheetah.
Yeah, right. And he had a son they called Boy. Boy, come here, boy. Why was Jane, but his son was Boy? Did we ever figure that out?
No.
I don't understand it either.
And it's like apparently, him and Jane, bring this child into the world, and she had no say-so whatsoever.
And plus, we assume that she can still speak English and whatnot, but and she's not lost her humanity from living in the jungle yet. She's allowed Tarzan to name their only son Boy. I don't get that at all. She's like, listen, Tarzan, we're gonna have to name him. Yeah, him Boy.
We're gonna have to call him something else.
You Jane, him
Daniel.
Boy. Me Tarzan.
Too much work. Just call him Boy.
Too much work. Could he get out the words too much work?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Oh man, so you're not going to believe what I'm getting ready to tell you. We are to the end of the hour. Can you believe that crap? We have come to the end of the hour.
We've gone from Civil War to Spider-Man.
To the death of
Tarzan.
Scott Weiland. Yeah.
Yep.
To the Crow, to...
We've been all over the board.
Yeah, well, that's kind of what we do, man. That's kind of who we are here. We're just sort of, we got a lot of stuff to cover, man. Because like I said, if you go to the website, you'll see pro wrestling, comic books, movies, TV, and more pop culture. That's what we're doing.
And goofy crap.
And goofy crap. Letting you know what it is, or remind you of things you already heard, but forgot to laugh at the first time they happened.
That's right.
God bless George Carlin for that line, right? But for his goofy shit. Okay, folks, we're going to wrap this up. This is the end of episode 2. We're going to do some plugs here real quick. Again, remind you of where you can find Kyle and myself. Please check us out, tomclarkbr.wix.com/boink. All the artwork on that website is done by Mr. Smith himself. Who is open for freelance work. So if you got some stuff, some projects, and more importantly, some cash, you can give this man, you can contact him. We can hook you up with some information and go from there. Just let me know. You can hit him up on Twitter at KyleDJSmith. That's his Twitter handle. Give him a direct message and talk business. Business. I don't know. Whatever the kids call it. But you can do that. You can find me on Twitter also.
Apparently it's watching Netflix and chilling.
Yes. I don't... You see, you're more hip than I am. Because I'm pretty sure chill means means to, not have clothes on with a girl, I think is what chill means. So that's a...
Know what I mean? Know what I mean? Nudge, nudge.
Yeah. Wink, wink, say no more, right?
They say no more.
But yeah, Twitter's the place, man. You can find me on Twitter at TomCartBR. Check out the Boink website. Check out my website. It's exclusively pro wrestling. TomCartBR.wix.com/blog. Look me up on Bleacher Report. I'm also on Camel Clutch blog. I'm also on Sportskeeda occasionally. You can find me there as well. Check out our Facebook page. Hit the like button. If you hit the like button enough, you get a bag of cookies. I'm not sure when it's going to happen. I've been told that. Either I do, or you do, or they do. I'm not sure how it works, but I'm pretty sure there's going to be cookies involved if you hit the like button enough. And, I'm all about cookies, especially the peanut butter. I'm all in, so... check that stuff out. I'm gonna. I forgot to tell you you guys from episode number 1 here. The music that you hear on the show is given to us by a great friend named Philip Fender, aka the Goose Fender. The guy is really good, as you can hear. I'd like to give you his Twitter and stuff, but he doesn't have one because. For him, it's still 1984, apparently. And, yeah, so...
He's rejected all social media.
He's rejected. He's basically Amish at this point. I mean, he's just...
Yeah.
He's like sitting in a wagon wheel somewhere.
If you don't have a cell phone, you're an Amish.
Yeah, exactly. He's with Greg somewhere, and they're strumming guitars in an old barn somewhere, so... They should be raising the barn, and Sunday they'll raise another, That's what they should be doing. But that's it, folks. That's where you can find us. Please go check out the stuff. Thank you for listening, by the way. We're going to keep monitoring the listens and the downloads. Thanks for downloading. Please subscribe if you haven't done it yet. We'd like to get any feedback that we can. You can drop us a line collectively if you would like to together at boinkstudios@yahoo.com, where you can tell us what you think about the show, man. Give us some input, some feedback, some suggestions. If there's something you'd like us to talk about or maybe questions about what we discussed or whatever, hit me up, man, because we're glad to include it on the show. So that's it, folks. You have listened to Tom and Kyle's Comedy Action Hour. I'm Tom Clark. He's Kyle Smith. Kyle, give us the last word of the show. Go.
If you've been influenced in any way, don't worry. It'll wear off. Just, go in a dark spot somewhere in your house and relax for a little while. The effects that we produce will wear off eventually. So, until next time.
Until you listen again, which hopefully is episode number 3.
Until you listen again, and then you'll be hooked.
That's right. All right, folks, thanks again for listening. Come back and check us out for episode 3. We'll be back real soon. Thanks much. We will be back. Take care and see you then.